Yeah. All right, the small British town of Windsor is preparing to host visitors from all over the world as Prince Harry and Meghan Markle tie the knot this weekend.
Jessica Holmes is there. She says it's freezing in the 50s. And this is why the British constantly drink hot tea.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. It's the wind.
I'm going to bring in Kathy to defend me because, hi, Kathy.
Hi.
Kathy's from Arcadia. She's from LA.
Yes.
And you just moved to London a year and a half ago.
Yes, we did.
Okay. Is it cold?
Yes.
Is
But I
today
like it.
chilly?
It is chilly.
Okay.
But you just learned a layer.
You
learned a layer because in 5 minutes it could be warm again.
Let's get a spot of tea in a minute. What do you think? Me and you, Kathy?
Yes, that's the best. You
I
have
know.
to have a spot of tea when you come here.
Okay, thank you, Kathy. I had the opportunity to be here back in 2011 for Prince William and Catherine's wedding. So I guess you could say I've been preparing for this wedding for 7 years. I want to take you on my journey from LA to across the pond.
Okay.
Countdown to the royal wedding, it is on, officially. I'm packing. Oh boy, quite the task. And I still haven't decided, black fascinator or blue fascinator for the big day. I don't know. I guess we'll have to decide. But we are headed straight to Heathrow, thanks to American Airlines, so that'll be lovely. But one thing I cannot travel without, my Harry and Meghan tote bag. Cute, huh? I've got Wi-Fi on board so I can study up on the bride and groom, plus in-flight entertainment. Ooh, I wonder if they have Meghan Markle show suits. We're here, we're in the UK. The flag is up at Buckingham Palace. You know what that means. The Queen is home, but not for long. She'll be headed to Windsor, her weekend home, for the wedding of her grandson.
It's part of history.
Do we care? No. Do we know who Prince Harry is?
That's for Meghan.
That's for Meghan. And that's for Harry.
Why are we here?
Oh, hello.
It speaks for itself.
I didn't know flashing was big here. We are here in the quaint town of Windsor, just outside of Windsor Castle. This is a small town, about 30,000 people live here on a regular basis, but come Saturday, 100,000 people are expected to pack the streets of Windsor. She's an American. How do we feel about it?
We feel thrilled. Anyone that Harry chooses has to be special because he is so special. I've watched him grow up. I'm so thrilled.
All of the barricades being set up. The flags are flying. You can see all the workers wearing the yellow vests. They're making sure all the equipment is getting into the church. Obviously, security is a really big deal for the royal wedding. They have spent $40 million reportedly on security alone to make sure that everyone's safe for the big day. And we can see on every street corner several police officers, some even with machine guns. We're all from Ireland.
Yes, we're from Ireland, yeah.
Okay, four children, You've traveled to watch the royal wedding?
We traveled for a wedding, our family and nephew, my nephew's wedding.
Wait, your nephew isn't Prince Harry, is it?
No, he's not. No.
Oh, back to the lovely people that you meet in Windsor. This is Maureen. Hi, Maureen.
Hi.
She's cuddling me because it's
She's
chilly.
so cold, bless her. Look at her. She's freezing. She's going blue.
Oh. Now, Maureen, is this chilly for you?
No, not at all. This is quite nice, actually. Nice and warm.
Even this wind?
Yeah, I don't bother about the wind. It's when it's snowing it's a worry, yes, but the wind's okay.
What do you say over here, tough upper lip? What should I do to buck up? I don't know. What does this say?
Don't think about the cold.
Okay.
Just think about enjoying it while you're here.
Maureen, well said.
Yeah.
She's darling. The people here, I have to say, are just...
I want to say hello to all my friends in America. I'm coming to see you soon for my 70th birthday. Yeah.
Wait, you're turning 70?
Oh, yeah, next week.
Oh, my... Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Goodness. Very nice to meet you, Maureen. All right, we'll send it back, Lynette and Frank, to you guys.
Come on, Jessica.
Thank
Buck
you.
up, stiff upper lip.
Yeah. Stiff upper lip.
Buck up. Will do. That's the funny thing, you guys. Yesterday it was 75 and sunny, and to the point where I was too warm, and I thought, oh, I packed wrong. I didn't bring anything appropriate, and I packed wrong again today because now I'm too cold, so I just can't figure it out. But We'll eventually work out the temperature. It's cold one day, warm another, but the weather is expected to be great for the big day on Saturday. And as we stand in front of Windsor Castle, this driveway is really important. And I say that because this is the first time that we're going to see Prince Harry and Meghan Markle exit as husband and wife, and they're getting ready. We're starting to hear sound checks and all kinds of things. And as we look behind us right up there, you guys, that's where they're going to have all of the cameras positioned so we get our first chance, our first glimpse of seeing Prince Harry and Meghan as husband and wife. Also, what we're about to do is a fun little field trip. We're going to take you behind the walls of Windsor Castle and take you to St. George's Chapel. That is where the wedding is taking place on Saturday. It's the most beautiful church you've ever seen, and it's very special to Prince Harry. Take a look. The whole world is watching the royal nuptials. This is St. George's Chapel at Windsor Castle.
Harry wanted to get married somewhere different, and I think actually he'd always had his eye on St. George's. As a child, Harry and William would spend a lot of time at Windsor Castle. One of the things we learned after that engagement day interview was just how much time Meghan and Harry had spent at Windsor. St. George's Chapel only holds 800, and actually the couple have decided not to fill it to its capacity. They've invited 600 guests. By royal standards, that is actually quite intimate, and I think they've done that very deliberately.
That door right there is where Prince Harry and Meghan Markle will exit as husband and wife. When in Windsor, do as the royals do. If Harry and Meghan can take a carriage, why can't I? Hello. All of a sudden you want to start saying hello. Well, Harry and Meghan are going to be on a fancy carriage from the, what do they call it, the Royal Mews? And they're going to be taking this route through Windsor town, and it's the quaintest city, and this is where the castle is located. And 100,000 people are going to be lining the streets, and they're going to be in an open carriage. The weather's expected to be good, and they're going to be able to wave at everybody and smooch. It'll be great.
The structure of a royal wedding is slightly different to what most people will have. So after the wedding ceremony at St. George's Chapel, the Queen will host what we traditionally call a wedding breakfast. So this will be a formal reception at Windsor Castle, given by the Queen. It won't be a sit-down brunch. It will be canapes, champagne, and then an evening party.
Cheerio. Hello. Oh, as police go by on horseback. The carriage ride was fun. I don't think I can go back to a regular car after. But the church, St. George's Chapel, is exquisite. Stained glass, and it's smaller than you would think. We don't even know how 600 guests, that's how many are invited to the wedding, are going to fit inside the chapel, but they say they will. There is a room when you enter the chapel that doesn't have really a view. Maybe that's where some of their guests, ones who aren't royal or famous, will sit, so we'll see. But more from Windsor, where the lovely townspeople, Maureen, came back and gave me her scarf.
Oh, wow.
She goes, I want you to have it.
So nice.
You've charmed the whole country.
So sweet.
She said, I want you to have it.
That is
It's
so
so
kind.
sweet. They're the nicest people.
Let's get to Jessica.
The countdown is on.
She's in London, right in front of Buckingham Palace. You're not wearing your fascinator yet because I guess it's not the big day, so you don't have to.
I know. Well, I told you guys I ordered a few from Amazon. And I brought a couple with me. So maybe I'll bust one out tomorrow. We'll see. But, you know, here we are in front of Buckingham Palace, feeling ever so British here in London. It's about rush hour. We're headed to about 4:30 in the afternoon, almost 5 o'clock. But we want to talk about wedding dresses because picking a wedding dress for a royal wedding is no small feat. It's a big deal. These dresses go down in history. Will Meghan take a cue from the royal brides before her? We talked to the wedding dress expert in London. Here's what she had to say. Caroline, I'd be interested to get your take on past royal wedding dresses.
Yeah.
So let's start with Queen Elizabeth.
Yes, very, very traditional. I mean, she looked sensational, but my goodness, that dress was so bejeweled and it looked as if it was a very heavy dress for her to have to walk down in. But, I mean, that is what I would call a really traditional bridal gown.
And then we go to Princess Diana, which I think is the one that all of us remember. I remember my mother getting up very early and being a small kid and remembering that image.
I mean, she looked amazing. I think that when that dress was designed for her, the whole idea was it was a real Cinderella Disney type dress because she had the big leg of mutton sleeves, a huge skirt, 25-foot train. It just sort of went on. You saw her in the carriage with her father. How did they get all the fabric literally into this? It was just so sort of fantasy.
And you also think about she was 19 at the time. She was so young.
Yeah.
That also informs your choices, right? Because what
of course, because she was a young girl with a dream. Yeah, and she was going to be a princess. Exactly, and bang, she went in the princess dress.
Okay, Kate Middleton.
Kate was very traditional, and in my view, she wore a dress that very much represented that she was going to be the future queen of the country. You know, the high neck, pretty line, very, very pretty lace, lovely, lovely silhouette. I mean, she had a perfect figure for it, and it just sort of was, in a sense, understated, but strong and traditional. She did something that was quite clever. She actually was in a dress that nobody could criticize. Whether they like it or not was irrelevant.
Which is
you
amazing
could
in this
never,
day and age.
ever criticize it.
Well, as you said, this dress that Meghan chooses will go down in history. It'll be in the history books. And to find the dress that no one can criticize and everyone approves of.
Everyone approves of. Such a difficult thing to do. Everyone as well in media now are always waiting to criticize. So she must feel slightly nervous as to what people are going to say.
Well, we'll have to wait for Saturday. Thank you so much, Caroline. This has been fun.
Lovely
Thank you.
to see you.
You too. And can you imagine the nerves, as Caroline pointed out, how nerve-wracking it'll be to walk into St. George's Chapel with 600 people, not just 600 people watching you walk down the aisle, but for William and Kate, 2 billion people watched their wedding. Princess Diana and Charles, almost 1 billion people watched. So will there be more people watching Prince Harry and Meghan Markle wed? I know the American audience will be big because she's an American girl, so we'll see. But you can't imagine butterflies on a normal day for any bride. But for a royal wedding, I think that's more than butterflies. That's like boulders.
Those are royal butterflies for sure.
Good morning. We are live from London. Just 2 days to go until the big day. We're getting you ready for everything royal wedding. But Meghan Markle still hasn't revealed her dress designer for the big day. But would she dare buy off the rack? Take a look at this.
One of my closest girlfriends is here, and she's helping me find the dress. Say yes. Say yes to the dress.
Royal wedding dress revealed? Not quite. This was Meghan Markle earlier this year giving a gown tour for her TV character's big I Do Day.
All right, well, I'm excited. So now we have to get changed.
We're in London visiting Caroline Castigliano. She knows a thing or two about wedding dresses. Maybe she knows what Meghan's going to wear on her big day. Caroline, hi.
Good to see you.
So nice to see you too. Thank you for having us. What is Meghan going to wear on Saturday?
That's the talk of the town.
It's the mystery, right?
It is. It has been incredible ever since they got engaged. That is all anyone's been interested in. What will Meghan wear? I think because she's already a TV star, I think it's shown even more interest than ever before.
A royal wedding is unlike any other, and you would know that more than our American audience might.
Yes.
How there are rules to follow.
Absolutely.
And what are those rules?
There has to be a certain sense of conservative, traditional look. The shoulders should be covered. The arms should be covered. No cleavage whatsoever.
Tiara is a must? A long train,
yes,
do you think?
Definitely a tiara.
Yeah.
Yes, she'll have a long train, nothing like Princess Diana. That was 25 foot. I think she'll have a long silk veil. And I think she will wear definitely one of Princess Diana's tiaras. I did the sketches of ideas that I thought of what Meghan would in actual fact wear. I actually started, first of all, with a full dress because I thought she'll just do something, and then that you see is out of the question. Look, the cleavage.
There's cleavage.
Yeah.
No, Caroline.
No cleavage. I have to say this would also look superb on her. Really, really nice. Just showing her figure and this just framing her body. Gorgeous. And the sleeve. And then here at the back, this would be the back of the train, and then do the whole thing at the back. and put Georgette behind so she is in actual fact covered, I think this would look really amazing on her.
I'm with you.
Yes, maybe I'll persuade her that she should have one for an evening dress.
She made a mistake.
Do it in
This
black.
is the one. This is the winner right here. Caroline, what if she were to pick an American designer?
I would be completely shocked.
Why is that?
Because she's marrying to the British royal family. She's not just marrying into sort of aristocracy or something, it's the royal family. Yeah. And I just think it's everything about that and being British. And the fact that she isn't English or British, I think that she wants to appeal to the people.
Oh, so you heard it there. No American designer making her wedding dress. All right, that does it for us from London. Guys, tomorrow we're going to be back in Windsor in front of the castle, getting you ready with just one day to go tomorrow until the big day. So can't wait to see you then. And we're going to go interview just now. We're going to interview an American woman who is married into aristocracy. So I think that'll be interesting to get her take on what it's like to now be a part of all of this. And we'll have that for you tomorrow.
KTLA 5's Jessica Holmes joins us now live in Windsor with more on the fashionable headwear. So a lot of people are asking me, Jessica, on my Twitter page, why it's called a fascinator and not a hat.
Okay, this is going to help explain that, Lynette, and that is a very good question. Good morning to all of you. You know, wearing hats here in England is such a part of British culture. It's what they do, especially when you go to weddings and events. And some of these events, it's a requirement. You must wear a hat as a lady. And we had the opportunity to meet with Philip Tracy. He is the hat designer here in London. He designs hats for the royal family, for celebrities like Lady Gaga and Sarah Jessica Parker. Even Meghan Markle has a few of his hats. He took us into his couture workshop to show us how they are working for the next 24 hours to get ready for the big day. Take a look.
This is where we make everything, and everybody is working late, and we've been doing so for about, we're always working late, but extra busy this year because of the royal wedding. We really are a couture workshop. Everything is made completely by hand. Waka is making something like this. So this is a kind of, my influence for this would have been early Hollywood.
Yes.
So it's about, I'll show you what it looks like. So
It reminds me of the 40s.
And so it's a kind of 40s, very glamorous.
The royal wedding, you must have a hat.
You must have a hat. And, you know, to design for royalty is the ultimate for a hat designer.
And you have.
This is our third royal wedding. Wow. So it's
fun.
It's exciting. And America gets its own new princess on Saturday.
And I'm sure one day, and maybe already, she has a Philip Tracy hat in the closet.
She has two. This is my desk, and this is where I live. It's this kind of material that we mold, and I make the shapes. I start out, you know, work with it, until I arrive at something like this, and then I send it to Paris and we have it carved in wood.
Wow.
But he has to carve exactly what I've given him, so I need him to map it to the millimeter. These are like Alexander McQueen for Givenchy medieval veils shapes, Madonna at the Super Bowl, Lady Gaga in wax from Madame Tussauds.
Oh my gosh.
And sadly I burnt her nose with an iron, but she's a really nice person, so she'll be cool about it. This is kind of like a history of my life in fashion.
Hey, let's talk about what I should wear to the wedding.
And let's say you were wearing this outfit, okay?
Let's just say.
Let's
a little
just say,
casual, but let's just say.
So then something like this would look kind of cute on you. You haven't seen what you look like yet, and you're beaming.
You know,
so
you know why?
that's exactly the currency of a hat, because it's about
that. No, there's something about Philip Tracy putting a hat on your head after he showed me Madonna's hat and Lady Gaga's hat and Karl Lagerfeld.
All I'm trying to say is hats are good, and hats are a positive thing.
I love Philip Tracy. What a lovely guy. Okay, Lynette, so if that didn't fully answer your question, a fascinator would be some kind of flowers, usually no brim because a hat has to have the brim and a fascinator has a clip or a headband. But Philip Tracy hates the word fascinator. He says it's a dodgy word and it should really be called a headdress. So now we know. But it was really a fascinating.
And you look great in
yeah,
that
he likes the word headdress.
You look terrific.
This is so much fun. I love every moment of this, Jessica. Thank you for bringing us all of this.
Good morning, you guys. In less than 20 hours from now, Meghan Markle will be part of the royal family. So how does an American learn the ins and outs of becoming royalty? We're getting a crash course from a duchess who was born in Illinois. We're here on King's Road in London. This apparently is one of the best streets for shopping. The royals happen to love it. And so does my friend Julie Montague. Hi! How are you?
It's so nice to have you here.
Thank
in
you.
my own turf, but even though I still have my American accent, I don't sound very British. Sorry about that. LK Bennett is one of my favorite stores.
Yeah.
It's such a wonderful British brand.
Yeah.
And you'll even see, you know, Kate Middleton, she wears LK Bennett a lot, and when she wears LK Bennett, it gets sold out in a millisecond.
Yep.
I'm here, I'll do a proper English since I'm here.
Your husband is...
Count Hinchingbrook.
But he
Viscount
will...
Hinchingbrook.
Yeah. Which means you're...
Viscountess Hinchingbrook.
And then you will be...
Countess of Sandwich, and he will be the Earl of Sandwich eventually. And when I first learned about this, when my husband told me, and I was just like, wait a minute, that really exists. I didn't think that actually really existed. And he was like, yeah, that exists, and that's why the sandwich was named after my ancestor.
So we have to thank his ancestors for creating the best food item of all time.
Right,
the sandwich.
The sandwich.
You're from Illinois. How
I know.
did this happen?
I know, I am from Illinois.
You guys fell in love, you got married, whisked you over here to live.
Yes.
Were you so intimidated to kind of be in this world?
I was nervous to eat. I remember watching have people eat first, and then I would be like, okay, that's how they're holding their fork and their knife. Oh, they're using that glass. So it was a lot of watching and learning.
Yeah. What do you think Meghan's going to have to adjust to?
Number one, she's moving into a new country, but then she's in that sort of compound of Kensington Palace with all the other royals. She's going to have a lot more formalities and manners and rules that I've ever had to have.
Some tips you could have for Meghan.
You know, the hardest thing for me was actually learning the history of the sandwich line. So she's got to learn about the whole House of Windsor and beyond that.
Yeah.
It's little things of like, if somebody says, can you pass the salt? You wouldn't be like, yeah, here. You'd have to pass it next to you, then you would pass it next to that person until it got to the right person. And then obviously she's going to be dining with the Queen quite a bit.
Yeah.
So you have to watch. As soon as the Queen puts down her fork and knife, you have to stop eating.
So if you're not done yet, too bad.
Too bad, they're gonna take that away. But also, when the Queen starts speaking to somebody on her right, that's when you start speaking to the person on your right.
You mimic the Queen.
You mimic the Queen, right. Yeah, this has taken me years to figure out, and I'm still figuring it out.
Well, this was our crash course.
Yeah, this was definitely. I hope it was okay.
It was great. Let's go shop now. So many rules. You guys, I didn't realize that when you're eating with the Queen, I don't think we'll ever have the experience of that, but when she puts her fork down, that's when everyone else has to put their fork down. You're done. If you're hungry, too bad. You better keep up with the Queen because they're taking your plate. I thought that was really interesting. Oh, hi you guys. We are live in Windsor, England, and we have a lovely view of the castle and the chapel behind us. It is the most spectacular day for a wedding, about 70 degrees and sunny. England is not known for their weather, but today could not be more perfect. Prince Harry is getting married, Princess Diana's second-born son, and our fascination with Diana continues on with her children. And of course, I wanted to show you guys this in the paper today. It said, "Mom would be so proud." And when you watch all of the networks and all the TV shows here in London this morning, they talk about that, how she's going to be represented today in this wedding where he is marrying an American by the name of Meghan Markle. The excitement, you guys, we are less than an hour away. The guests have been arriving. Behind me, as I mentioned, you can see Windsor Castle and St. George's Chapel, which is the most exquisite church you have ever seen. I had the chance to go in there the other day. There's the stained glass, and when you walk in there, there is a presence, and you feel like you are a part of royalty just to be in that church. Guests that we've seen arrive so far: Oprah Winfrey showing up this morning. Actor Idris Elba was there as we've seen him arrive at the church. Baby Spice, we know a lot of the Spice Girls are attending today. Prince Harry, back when he was 12, 13 years old, he met the Spice Girls and said it was the best day of his life. So I think today will trump that, I must say. George and Amal Clooney have arrived. The Beckhams, the Beckhams are kind of considered royalty in and of themselves. The fact that they're here today, they wouldn't miss a royal wedding. And as we wait for the bride to arrive, Meghan Markle was picked up from Cliveden House this morning. It's a few miles away from Windsor Castle. The couple spent the night apart. Very traditional that they spend the night before getting married in separate locations. She was with her mother, Doria Ragland. They did arrive at Windsor earlier this morning, and they will be hidden away to make sure that the bride and groom do not see each other before they walk down the aisle.